What's good, y'all? It's Cril from Out the Box. I'm back for another video. This one is another lyric breakdown, and I'm gonna be changing things up a bit with these lyric breakdown posts. Where, as you know, before, if you've caught any of the other videos before, I've been doing lyric breakdowns on or lyric explanations on full songs. And what I've noticed is that it's taking me a lot longer to get those out to you. So, in an effort to actually put more videos out with these lyric explanations, I'm deciding to not highlight the full song of lyrics, but just a few lines from a song, right? As opposed to just going through the full song, right? And it'll also be in some occasions where I'll highlight an artist, but I'll pick multiple lines from different songs, right? So it might be a line from one song, a line from another song, and a line from another song, all from the same artist. Or in this video, we're going to do one artist, same song, multiple lines from that same song. All right. So we're going to start out with MC Ransom, who put out a project called Cabrini Green. It initially was released sometime in the later part of last year on the Even website. It was like exclusively on that platform, but it recently became available now on digital streaming platforms. So you can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, you know, where you get your traditional streaming services out there. So as of this month, January, it's available on the DSPs, right? So we're going to be looking at the song entitled, let me actually go to that slide. The song entitled Give Enough, and we're going to be highlighting lyrics from that song. Also, this lyric explanation video is just my observation of what I think ransom means in these lines. I'm not saying it's exactly what it means. It's just my observation of what I think he's trying to convey. But it's not set in stone, right? It's open to interpretation. So I just want to put that out there. So the first lines we're going to look at, or first lyrics, I was trying to figure out what he meant by playing the flute. Obviously, we know Andre 3000 plays the flute, so that makes sense. But what I think he also meant is the big guy in the crew is getting tested, hence the words sized up, and he will play him like a flute. In other words, he's going to get over on him. So he can get his money, hence 3 stacks, which means $3,000 in this sense, right? It could also mean he's saying he's gonna play like he's a big boy, right? Like, he's the big homie, he's the big man. He's qualified to get those 3 stacks. So that's what I gathered from that line there. So let's move on to the next set of lines that I chose. This is again from the same song, Give Enough, from the Cabrini Green project from Ransom. These lines go, Chris Webber with a timeout. You don't never want to bring the time up. That's Doc Rivers with a fine cut. Ends never see it when it's lined up. So the first part of this line is a little challenging to understand. If you remember during the 1993 NCAA championship between North Carolina and Michigan, Chris Webber, who played college basketball for Michigan at the time, he called a timeout at the end of the game, but he didn't know they were out of timeouts. So even though the game was close in score, Michigan still ended up losing impactfully due to him calling that timeout, which led to a technical foul and costing Michigan the game. So I think that what Ransom is referring to in that line is that just like they didn't count the time in that game, The person he's referring to in that line is not paying time any mind as well, which really speaks to not being on point. Just like Chris Webber didn't keep track of the timeouts left, this person is not paying attention to signs, which is kind of like time. It can cost him a lot. That's why he goes on to say, that's Doc Rivers with a fine cut. Ends never see it when it's lined up. Now, that line stands out even more. If you know about the now NBA coach, Doc Rivers, and what he looks like, his hairline is kind of receding, and you can't really make out where his hairline is or where it starts, right? So it's a funny line, but he's basically also saying when that person gets lined up, which is another way for saying being set up, they never see it coming like Doc Rivers' receding hairline. All right, let's go to the next line. This line says, if you never pay attention on the day I mention, you're going to pay the penalties. This one was pretty easy to get. It's pretty self-explanatory. I just like the pattern of words and the way it sounded. I like the way he rhymes the words attention and mention. And what he's basically saying is if you don't pay attention on this day that he speaks, not later on, you're going to face penalties or consequences. So he's letting you know that his words in real time can have a positive impact if you decide to really listen in that moment. But if you don't listen, you're likely going to face some challenges. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for taking the time to check out my lyric explanation on a few lines from the Ransom single entitled Give Enough. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like, share the video. Let me know how you feel about the lyric breakdown in the comments. I thank you again. Catch y'all on the next video. Take it easy.